Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I will do an update on my portfolio. I posted a video back on December 2020 and I should have done an update 6 months later, but we were in earning seasons and all that, so I will show you guys which stocks I have in my portfolio right now, the percentages that they represent, their performance and more. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing and smashing that like button since it really helps the channel out. Before starting, I want to say that as always, I'm not a financial advisor and by no means this video is any investment recommendation. I just want to share my investment trajectory. I always do these videos starting with my biggest position, but I want to change it a little bit from old to new, meaning that I will start with the stock that I have been investing the longest so I can show you guys the long-term performance first. I do want to say that I started investing back in 2017 in cryptocurrencies while I day traded options in Robinhood, and then after many losses and lessons learned, I noticed that the way of investing for me is long term. Just a little summary of my trajectory and how I started investing long term. I could do a video in more detail if you guys want. But let's start. The first stock in this list in my portfolio is Visa stock, ticker symbol V. I bought the very first share on Robinhood back in November 2017 at $109 per share. I never bought again until 2019, which is why my average cost is $147.68 per share, and it is a teeny tiny position as it only represents 1.23% of my portfolio, and it is currently up 57.37% since I started investing. I know that all the way up from 109 to 232, which is today's price, would be an over 120% return, but as I added more at a higher price, the return seems to be 57% overall. Still, I'm very excited about this investment. I love Visa, their technology, their constant growth and innovation. It was the first stock I bought, so I have kind of a different feeling for it, but I'm thankful I first invested into such a nice company. Now, the second stock that I ever added to my portfolio was Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. Many of you know that I am an Apple addict. I have used almost all of their products for years and have never had any problem with them. I know many disagree, but I just enjoy how a very old company is able to continue innovating and surprising us with its growth year over year, even after being the biggest company ever. I bought this stock when it was at around $186 per share in 2018, but take into consideration that they did a split last year. So if we look at the chart back in June 2018, the stock was actually at $46 per share after the split. Still, it is a stock that I have always liked and have tried to buy every time I want or every time I can. So it currently represents 7.11% of my portfolio and have an average price of $123.30 per share, which means that I'm actually up 23.71% as I have been buying more since 2020 than when I started investing back in 2018. I still see potential in the company. I do believe the stock is kind of expensive right now, so I'm currently not adding, but I always check it out because I would like to add more even though I have a big position right now. Stock number 3 was Facebook stock, ticker symbol FB. As you can see, it is a stock that I used to day trade and swing a lot with options. I'm gonna put a screenshot here, but I started investing when it was at $177 per share. It currently represents 7.81% of my portfolio, has an average cost of $234 per share, which means that I'm actually up 62% in my position. It is a stock that I bought more in 2020 as it has been so undervalued for so long, which is such an amazing growth. I'm not adding at these levels, but I certainly love the stock as I see a lot of potential in it, the growth that they have been having and everything. I remember last time I did an update on my portfolio, my average price was about $198 per share, but I have been adding even more last year and the beginning of this year when everyone was hating the stock because of everything that happened last year, the boycott, the elections, and all that drama. Stock number 4 in my portfolio is surprisingly Square, ticker symbol SQ. I started a very small position when it was at $77.39 per share and have been adding a little bit more since then, which is why it represents 2.91% of my portfolio right now, and I have an average cost of $153 per share, which means that I'm up 77.49% in my position right now. I have said it before, this is my favorite fintech stock. I love their growth and innovation year over year. I understand this stock is a little bit expensive right now, but as I want to increase my position, I'm waiting for a dip to happen for me to add more to this position, as I try to do on a monthly basis with every of my positions if the stock drops. Stock number 5 that I added to my current portfolio and my current favorite position is Amazon stock, ticker symbol AMZN. It currently represents 17.63% of my portfolio. I know it is a lot, as I try to have a limit of 5%, but this was once my biggest position and used to represent about 42% in my portfolio, as it is a high conviction stock for me. I love the e-commerce industry, and I have told you guys that it has been popping lately, and I believe it still has a lot of room to grow. I have an average cost of $1,663 per share, which means that I'm up 105.77%. I do have to say that I like this stock a lot, and I'm looking to add more. I was loving it below $3,000, but maybe I'll add more at $3,200. Gotta wait and see what happens. I know that for the stock to get below $3,000 would be a huge drop of about 11%, but it has happened before. Just gotta be patient with it. If it doesn't happen, well, I could add at a higher price, but gotta wait and see what really happens. Stock number 6 that I added to my portfolio was Microsoft stock, ticker symbol MSFT. It is a very small position, and obviously I regret not buying more at the moment, but you guys know that I like to buy in small portions, and sometimes I invest more into other stocks than some. So right now, it represents 1.58% of my portfolio. I have an average price of $136 per share, which means that I'm up 121.86% in my position. I do have to say that I should have added more at the beginning of the year, but right now I believe it is kind of expensive as well. Nothing wrong with it, as I'm making money, but I would wait in order to add more to this position. Stock number 7 was Disney, ticker symbol DIS. I just uploaded a video on Monday analyzing this stock, and have to say that their earnings numbers were incredible. Disney Plus is growing at a fast pace, and parks are almost back to normal. It currently represents 1.84% of my portfolio. I have an average price of $123 per share, which means that I'm up 45% in my position. As I said in my video, I would add to this position if it gets to $170 or even better $150 per share. Again, that would be kind of a big drop for this stock, but those things have happened before. And I don't like to rush into any stocks. Stock number 8 is Mastercard, ticker symbol AMA. It currently represents 3.80% of my portfolio. I have an average cost of $273 per share, which means that I'm actually up 31.33% in my position. I know I own Visa and Mastercard as well, but I think there is more than enough room for both companies to grow. And when I started investing, Mastercard was way undervalued for me not to start a small position in it, and it definitely turned out quite well. Stock number 9 is Carnival Cruise Line, ticker symbol CCL. I know I have told you many times that I sometimes decide to cut my losses when things have changed, and things have definitely changed for this stock. I started investing back in December 2019, and obviously was around at $45 per share. I now have an average cost of $37 per share, which obviously is still a little bit high, as I was able to average down during the March crash, but not as much as I have already invested a lot of money in the beginning, way before the pandemic started, just like I did with Royal Caribbean. It currently represents 3.71% of my portfolio, and I'm actually down 33.83% in my position. Okay, from now on, all the stocks that I'm going to talk about now are stocks that I have bought in 2020 and 2021, so you will now see Short-term performance. Stock number 10 is Lyft, ticker symbol LYFT. I started investing in Lyft back in February of 2020 when it was at $45 per share, and I averaged down really fast in the pandemic, even though many thought that I was crazy and that Lyft was going to basically disappear. It represents 3.62% of my portfolio and have an average price of $27 per share, which is why I'm up 76% in my position. I have to say that even though they already achieved EBITDA profitability, I believe they still can grow and expand way more. And I also have to say that it surprises me this kind of return in the short term. Stock number 11 was Lemonade, ticker symbol LMND. I started investing back in July. I now have an average cost of $56.74 per share. It represents about 4% of my portfolio, even though last year represented more, about 10% of my portfolio, but I have been investing more into other stocks as well. I'm currently up 35.58% in my position, even after the stock went up massively and down 60%. This is a very, very young company that still needs a lot of time to grow and mature, but long term, I think it's a very, very nice investment, and it's a company that I like a lot. Stock number 12 in my portfolio is Shift, ticker symbol SFT. I started investing in this stock back in November 2020, so a very, very short term, and it is a small position as I'm still building it up. It represents 1.96% of my portfolio, and I'm actually up 1.96% as my average cost is $7.31 per share. I'm not adding like crazy, but I try to add sometimes to build up the position as the growth the company have been having is incredible. Now, stock number 13 is where my money losing position starts, and it is Tattooed Chef, ticker symbol TTCF. Whoa. I filmed this video on Tuesday morning, so I was actually down in my position, but now that I'm editing this video on Tuesday at 8 p.m., I saw that the Tattooed Chef went up actually a lot after hours, which means that I'm not losing money anymore in this position. I'm actually up 1.45% in my position right now, and it represents 6.81% of my portfolio. Now back to the video. I don't think I will add a lot more to this position as it is already over 5% of my portfolio, but if it drops to $18 to $19 per share again, I could add a little bit more. Stock number 14 and my most money losing position at the moment is Wish, ticker symbol WISH. Yes, I'm down big in my favorite position of the year, but I have been able to recover a lot as well with covered calls, and you're going to see how. Fully transparency here, I started investing in this stock heavily last year at around $18.19 per share when they went public. I have been able to average down to $16.15 per share, which represents 12.75% of my portfolio, and I know the stock is down 55% in my position at the moment as I invested a lot at the beginning of the year and have not wanted to add that much during the drop because even though the stock has been very, very cheap for so long, I like diversification and I don't like when people mention that it's a meme stock. Still, I have been selling covered calls since December, and just because of that, I can say that my positioning is actually only down 36%, which is still a lot, but it's not 55%, as I've been collecting a lot of money from covered calls from Wish. I do have to say that obviously last quarter was pretty disappointing for them, but I'm in it for the long term. Unless they continue having disappointing quarters, I would have to correct my losses. But right now, I believe in the company. I like the growth and everything, but gotta wait and see what happens for third quarter. Stock number 15 was Teledog, ticker symbol TDOG. Another kind of disappointment for me as they have been missing several quarters already, and as I said in this video, I'm thinking if I should just sell and cut my losses or hold long term. I have an average cost of $177 per share, which means that I'm down 18%. At the moment, it represents 5.32% of my portfolio. I have not decided yet, but definitely something I have in mind every day as things might have changed. We're gonna see. Last but not least, Fubo TV, ticker symbol FUBO. You guys know that I started investing in this company back in March and have been averaged down since then, meaning that I have not added any new positions in my portfolio since March. I have been basically adding to my current positions. This is another stock I started investing in because I like their business, their growth, and most importantly, their sports book plan. I have invested in this stock all the way between $14 per share to $46 per share, which means that I'm down 29% in my current position. But as it happened with Wish, their cover calls pay really good. You should go and check them out. As you can see, I have collected a lot of money, and because of that, I'm only down 10.58% of my position and not 29% because I have collected a lot of premium from this stock and I have been reinvested that money back into other stocks, or I still have it in cash. I also invest in TrueLive as well, but on my Fidelity portfolio, I have another portfolio in M1 Finance where I only invest in Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Tesla, but Robinhood is my main portfolio so far. With this video, I wanted to show you guys how long-term investing is always better than anything else, and I think I kind of demonstrated that with this, as my longer-term positions are doing way better than short-term, and it is not only because I started investing more into spec stocks this year, because when I started investing in Square, for example, the stock went down a lot. The same thing with Lyft, and you guys can check those videos in the channel. Even Facebook dropped a lot when I started investing. But what I want to say with this is that you should always invest in stock that you believe in long term and don't care that much about short term moves, unless something were to happen and the fundamentals of the company change, or the why of why you invested in that company change as well. Also, I know I am down big in 2 of my positions, which I have kind of recovered with cover calls, but I like diversification because of this. It lets me have a kind of a balanced portfolio and not lose everything by putting all the eggs in one basket. I have to say that I sold Royal Caribbean months ago for a profit of about 40%. I sold Upwork for a profit of about 175% as I started investing when it was around $14, if I'm not mistaken. I will put a screenshot here, but that was my portfolio. Would like to know what you guys think and share yours as well. Please smash that like button and subscribe since it really helps the channel out. Thank you and see you next time.